Hello. Today I would like to talk about planning. Yeah. We all make plans, right? We all like making plans. And generally planning is good. Okay, you wake up in the morning, and you write down a number of things that you want to do, either for the day, for the week, and that is very, very good. I'm an advocate for planning. I always encourage my students. I always encourage everybody I have a chance to talk to about planning to plan as much as you can. But every time you make a plan, we need to be a bit more, um, you know, tactical about planning, if I can use that word. You know, plans can make you a bit more effective, right? They, they increase your output, right? At least you can know exactly what you have accomplished because you planned, because you wrote it down. So after a particular period of time, you can look back and say, from the list of things I had written down, how much have I accomplished, which is a good thing, right? But plans can also put you in a cage if you're not very careful, right? For example, you wake up in the morning and say, I want to go to the university, and you pick a particular university. For example, I want to go to University of Zambia, right? And in your mind, the only university you can go to, you can ever go to, is the University of Zambia. You can't go to any other university. That puts you in a cage. That puts you, that in your plans, you are eliminating the possibility of ever going to any other university, right? And that is the downside to making plans if you do not leave some room for other unforeseen moves in your plan, right? When you make a plan today, you're making a plan based on what you know today, right? But the thing is that you can't predict the future. It's impossible to predict the future because what you know today might not be true tomorrow. The money you have today might not be true tomorrow. The money you plan on having next week or a week from now is, you can't predict that, right? So every time you make your plans, try to be as fluid, leave them to be as fluid as possible. Your end goal can be a constant. If you want to go to university, right, fine, put it, I want to go to university. But if you put a name on the university and say you want to go there, and I know some people say, put a name on it, speak it, do all those kinds of things, and then you find yourself in that particular university that you want. But you can't predict the future, right? And you need to be open. Other opportunities might come along, and you might need to take them as well, right? There's a story that I heard from the great Sadhguru, right? He mentioned that, anyway, in short, the story was about ended up with this child who surprised the grandfather, because when the grandfather came to see the child for the first time, he found that the child had this target, the bullseye, and there were arrows right on the bullseye, of maybe 5 or 6 of them. And when the grandfather asked the child how the child, from what distance the child managed to hit the bullseye, the child said something like 20 yards, which is very, very far, right? And when the grandfather asked the child said, but I all the arrows are on the target because I shoot first, then I draw the target after the arrow has already hit the wood, right? And that is how it is in most cases. When you talk to most of these seemingly successful people, the rich people, they'll tell you most of them didn't plan on where they ended up, right? They had a goal that they want to be this particular type of person in the future, but they drew the target when they got there, right? Which means there are many other turns that they took on the way. They had to take different jobs, they had to quit some things, they had to slow down, they had to speed up. And that is how it is. So make plans, that is good, but always leave some room for malleability. Be willing to bend, to stop, to slow down, to take a few steps backwards, right? But keep the goal, keep your eyes on the goal. But whatever happens on the way, leave some room for malleability. All right, have a good day.